Hello, this is Skylit Lake reading Gratuitous Microwaves by Quasiclatl. Chapter 3. A true friend will help you hide the microwave. Izuku is having the best day of his life, even better than the day he got accepted into UA, or the day he got his hero license, or the day he finally pried the super rare 10th anniversary All Might poster from Night Eye's cold, dead hands. The man technically said he could, because today he's been offered the rarest piece of All Might merch there is. Short of kidnapping the man himself, he's been offered one for all. Yes, of course, Izuku shouts. This is everything he's ever dreamed of. All Might seems a little put off by his quick acceptance. My boy, that wasn't all I had to say. That would explain it. Do you remember the villain by the name of All for One who surfaced during your school years? Izuku nods. Well, the history of this quirk is a long and unfortunate one. He then proceeds to explain how the quirk came to be and how every user before him has died to the quirk-stealing supervillain All for One. I see. That is a problem, Izuku mutters. So you see, my boy, you must think long and hard about this decision. I accept. How do you transfer the quirk? Physical contact? Maybe DNA? My boy, I urge you to consider this from all angles. I've considered it. I accept. Please tell me about the quirk transfer. Izuku gives All Might his best puppy dog eyes until he gives in. All Might sighs. Well, my boy, I must give you a microwave to transfer the quirk. A microwave? And you just hand it to me? Not necessarily. I must have the microwave at some point and willingly give it to you as a gift. I could mail it and it'll still work. This definitely will be a problem. What will be a problem, young Midoriya? If you already have a microwave, I can get you a new one. Well, you just give me a microwave for no reason would be suspicious. If we don't want All for One to know about the quirk transfer, we need an excuse. All Might looks at him strangely. My boy, I don't think... What reason would you give someone a microwave? It's not like kitchen appliances are a common gift. Well, I could just... I know what to do. Izuku has a plan. He walks into the break room at the agency and spots his target. Hey Shoto, will you marry me? It was perfect. Kitchen appliances are common wedding gifts, so it wouldn't be strange for All Might to give him one. Nobody would ever suspect the marriage to be front for a quirk transfer. Shoto, sitting on a ratty couch in the break room at the Hero Agency, looks up from the case file he'd been reading. Why? Izuku planned for this. Of course, Shoto would be curious. Unfortunately, he couldn't simply tell the truth and give away All Might's 200-year-old secret. No, he'd only tell Shoto part of the truth. I need to get a microwave from All Might as a wedding present. And he couldn't just give it to you normally? And seem extremely suspicious to All for One? No. Shoto shrugs. Okay. Izuku knew Shoto was the perfect person to ask. Just to be clear, we'll plan the wedding to piss off my old man as much as possible. Shota adds. Well, duh. The next few days are a blur of planning. Todoroki insists that they spend as much of Endeavor's money as possible, and it turns out Endeavor has a lot of money to spend. He's trying to find a venue that'll both be ridiculously expensive and piss off their target, but he has yet to find the perfect one. He runs into the room. The grin he wears means he has an idea that is either great or terrible. Izuku, All Might your dad, right? Izuku gets flustered. What? No! Semantics. The point is, you're close, right? Well, I guess. And he'd probably do anything if you asked nicely enough. I wouldn't say that. You don't need to say it for it to be true. Anyway, don't you see the opportunity this presents? Call him right now. For what? Todoroki's grin widens. We're gonna rent out Might Tower. Izuku has no idea why All Might agrees to host the wedding at his agency, but if it makes Shoto happy, he's not opposed to it. Now that they have a venue, they choose a date and begin to figure out the food, decor, entertainment, etc. A lot of this is just Shoto throwing money at his friends and telling them to run wild, which is definitely one way to get things done. He contacts several of their ex-classmates in his quest to make the most insane, cluttered mess of a wedding possible. They're all very supportive of this plan. Okay, so we have Ayama for entertainment, Jiro for music, Sue for decor, Sato is baking the cake. Who do we have for catering? Izuku asks, checking off the items on his list. I don't know. Shinzo said he also wants to get his hand on the cake. Noted. What about Shoji? He said he wanted to help and we have yet to assign him, answers Izuku. Shoto perks up. I know exactly who to hire for catering. What? Who? Shoto is already dialing the number. On his phone, he holds it up to his ear. This is Shoto. We're looking for a caterer for the wedding. Izuku leans forward, trying to get a look at the caller ID. Yes, make us a mad banquet of darkness. It's Tokiyami. Hey Shoto, Izuku calls. Are you gonna take my family name? Oh, I forgot that was a thing. Yes, please. Okay. Wait, I changed my mind. You'd rather stay at Todoroki then? No, of course not. I want your dad's family name. My dad's family name is also Midoriya. Other dad, I want to be a Yagi. Shoto. Don't worry, you can have my mum's name, Himura, in return. But he's not... Izuku starts, but before he can finish, Shoto grabs his arms, drags him halfway across the city to All Might's office. Father-in-law, I wish to get your family name for this marriage. Father-in-law? All Might asks, bamboozled. At the same time, Izuku buries his, now bright red, face in his hands. You're my fiancé's dad, Shoto states matter-of-factly. My boy, do you really see me that way? All Might asks Izuku, eyes brimming with hope. Izuku lifts his head enough to squeak, yes, before burying it again. Then All Might gives a smile even brighter than his usual grins, and says, well, the feeling is mutual. Shoto gives them a moment to hug it out, because he's not completely ignorant to social cues, no matter what anyone says. Once he's decided it's been long enough, he interjects. so I can be a Yagi once we get married. All Might turns his dazzling grin to Shoto. Sure, whatever you want. When Izuku later recounts this experience to his mother, she has to hold back laughter. So, what you're saying, Inko smirks, is that you married into Toshinoi's family. Mom, Izuku groans. I'm just saying, he's been coming to family dinners for years. It's about time you realized. Izuku splutters because he doesn't have an argument to refute her. They soon make a public announcement of their impeding ceremony, and that is how Endeavor finds out his son is getting married to Deku. His resulting screech is heard all across Japan. The day of the wedding comes quickly. Everyone gets outfitted in the nicest clothes and/or the worst knockoff Endeavor merch they could find. The floor of the tower they reserved for the wedding is decorated beautifully. It is half flooded and covered in lily pads. The theme is ice, so there's also a lot of fake snow everywhere. Jiro brought in her band and they blasted heavy metal music, which adds to the cheerful atmosphere. The night is young, spirits are high, and Mineta is sealed inside the disco ball like an ancient curse. Endeavor walks into the venue, and his face purples at the sight. Shoto goes to greet him. Father, how kind of you to come. Shoto, what is this? Endeavor growls. It's a wedding. A wedding? Endeavor's eyes twitch. And what part of this is even minutely resembling a traditional wedding? Ah, yes. I know it was your wish for me to have a traditional wedding, so I hired them. Shoto points to a group of people dressed in black and white, one of whom is suspiciously pink and ascetic. Traditional French mimes. Shoto sees Endeavor trying to maintain his decorum as his jaw clenches and his beard flares up. I see. Endeavor grits out, turning to walk away. Shoto snickers, because if he keeps going that direction, he'll catch sight of the cake, which is decorated with anti-Endeavor graffiti. Zero swings around, taking blurry photos of everything going on. He jumps between the trees they brought up to decorate the incredibly spacious room. He accidentally knocks somebody out of the trees, and they fall on top of Shoto's brother. Whoops. Hopefully, they're okay. He stops on the ground to catch a close-up of Endeavor's face, and that's where Kaminari catches him. Hey Zero, where's Aizawa? Under the snack table, why? What? Get him out here. He needs to officiate the wedding in like 2 minutes. Kaminari hisses, alarmed. He's asleep, man. I can't wake him up. You know how heavy of a sleeper he is. Kaminari phone buzzes. Oh crap, Jiro needs me. Wait, what do I do about Aizawa? Rushes Zero. I don't know. Weekend at Bernie's him or something. Just make sure he's there, Kaminari says before dashing off. Zero stands there abandoned, with one thought on his mind. What does he mean by weekend at Bernie's? Everyone had been pressuring Natsuo to do a speech as Shoto's older brother, so it's actually a stroke of luck when somebody crashes quite literally into the conversation. What's even luckier is when he sees who it is. Natsuo grins. Right on time. He drags the befuddled man onto the stage, introduces him, And now we're going to hear the speech from Shoto's oldest brother, Toya. He's met with a round of applause and a betrayed look from Toya. Nato has no sympathy for him. That's what he gets for pretending to be dead. Saku Atsuhiro, better known as Compress, finds himself in a precarious position. When he isn't performing villainy, he's a normal magician. He performs at parties, occasionally does shows. His act very much relies on his quirk, making things disappear and reappear in a flash. The other day, he received a request to perform at an event, and he accepted because it didn't seem like it'd be an issue. He curses his past self, who was a naive fool. Now he's performing while surrounded by pro heroes. He can't use his quirk in case they notice and recognize it, so he's stuck to doing only tricks which don't incorporate his quirk while he sweats bullets. He's used the same 5 lame card tricks this whole time, and people are starting to get disgruntled. Atsuhiro nearly passes out from relief when they announce the start of the ceremony. Now he has time to quickly Google some other lame card tricks to use for the remaining 3 hours he was hired to be here. The ceremony is ridiculously theatrical. There are light effects, and nearly everything in the room is shiny. Instead of a normal wedding march, they play the theme song from the animated series All Might Adventures. Izuku stands in his hero costume next to his parental figure, All Might, while Shoto enters the room. Shoto also wears his hero costume, but while he walks to the front, his clothes transform into an ice dress like Elsa from Frozen. When he reaches Izuku, everyone stands awkwardly for a moment. The officiant is nowhere to be seen. "Wait, there's the officiant," calls someone, pointing up. Up above them, slowly descending from the ridiculously high ceiling, dangling from a piece of tape, is a yellow caterpillar thing. Some of the guests, namely UA alumni, recognize it as Aizawa in his sleeping bag. Also on the ceiling, Sarah is inexpertly concealed by the disco ball. He begins the most pathetic attempt at ventriloquism anybody in the crowd has ever seen. Pushing the pieces of tape, Aizawa is suspended while saying, "I'm here to officiate. Me being up here was a logical ruse." Nobody buys it for a second, but the wedding continues anyway. Zero, as Aizawa, recites all the appropriate lines and eventually says, "Speak now, or forever hold your peace." "I object!" A figure jumps up from the row of seated guests. It's none other than Stain, the hero killer. "Shoto has not proven to be a true hero, and I cannot in good conscience let Deku get married to a fake like that." Everyone boos, and several people pick up the fake snow to make snowballs and throw them at Stain. This does not deter him. What deters him is when he looks back to the front row. "Wait, is that All Might? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Is that your son? I'm so sorry." He sits back down, staring at his nice shoes abashed, and does not interrupt again. They are married without issue, and everybody applauds. Yoroshi cheers as loudly as he can, directly behind Endeavor, causing him to spill his drink. Zero gets a little too enthusiastic with his applause, and dislodges the disco ball. He is able to swing away before it falls, but the entire thing crashes down to the floor. From the rubble on the floor, a figure emerges, a terrible and disturbing entity with a lecherous grin. Guests scream and scramble away from the wreckage, running out through the emergency exits at record speed. From the crowd emerges a fed-up Sako Atsuhiro. He walks up to the beasts, and in 1 second he performs the best magic trick he's done all night. He makes Mineta disappear. Everyone freezes. "The evil is defeated!" someone cheers before the rest of the guests join in. Yaoyorozu approaches their savior and shakes his hand. "Thank you so much for what you've done. I speak for my fellow pro heroines. We thank you so much for what you've done. When I say this, good riddance. Please accept this token of our gratitude." She produces a credit card loaded with tens of millions of yen before leaving it in Sako's hand. Sako's brain shuts down and reboots because the Yaoyorozu heir, who has a legitimate claim and could feasibly get 10 million yen, just handed him 10 million yen. Shoto's voice sounds over the speakers. "Now that that's been settled, I have a couple of announcements to make about my hero career." Everyone's attention turns to the front of the room where he stands, now holding a microwave. "I am now officially changing my hero costume to this ice dress. I've also come to realize that the hero named Shoto is no longer the sort of image I want to be putting out. It's too informal to let the public call me by my given name. I decided from now on my hero name will be my family name, Yagi." At this point, Monoma crashes in through the window. "Ha! I've borrowed a gecko quirk to scale this building and thought your partying plans, Class A, and now, what the fuck is going here?" With a great celebration comes a great mess, and this wedding was one for the ages. Naturally, dozens of people are there the next day to help with the cleanup. "Shoto, help me carry this down." Izuku gestures to a stack of gifts. At the bottom of the stack is a certain microwave. Izuku grabs one end and Shoto grabs the other. On 3, we lift. 1, 2, 3. Izuku is cut off by a yelp as they lift, and the gifts, microwave and all, go flying, punching a hole straight through the ceiling. The 2 of them waver, then both fall on their back. Between them, they have 4 broken arms. "What was that?" calls Uraka, running over to them, from where Kirishima and Bakugo had started a brawl yesterday. When she sees them lying there, she gets an incredulous expression. "I don't know," answers Shoto. At the same time, Izuku responds, "Hysterical strength?" Uraka rounds on them. She crosses her arms expectantly. "You've got some explaining to do." Hey guys, I hope you enjoy this video. This is a very funny chapter. This is by far the funniest. I love this series so far. In saying that, this is going to be the final chapter to the series I'm going to be recording, because the next chapter is kind of like a weird SpongeBob vigilante mix. I don't really like it. But in saying that, it is still funny, it's still worth watching, still worth reading. But yeah, anyway, the wedding was really funny. I was laughing my ass off, and the thing took me way too long to record. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye!